Hello, this is Dr. Mercola, and today I am going to examine the question, is soy truly the health food that many in the health food industry would have you believe it is? Now, my answer may disappoint and challenge many vegetarians who choose to use soy as one of their primary sources of protein, but it's my strong belief that non-fermented soy is going to be a challenge for most people and should be avoided. Now, fermented forms of soy, which include tempeh, miso, and natto, are probably okay and may actually be a very healthy food. Now, not a fermented soy does not include tofu. Tofu is not a health food and it should be avoided, even though many people believe it's healthy for you. Now, why should you avoid it? Well, one of the primary reasons is that nearly all of soy is genetically modified, and there are a number of very powerful reasons why you want to avoid those GMO foods, and I'll be reviewing those in future video updates. But suffice it to say, at this point, you clearly want to avoid GMO foods. Now, it is possible to get organically grown soy, but even if you were to obtain that, there's still intrinsic problems and complications with using soy as a food source. What are those? Well, soy is loaded with trypsin inhibitors. And trypsin is a very important digestive enzyme that you have that allows you to properly digest your protein. So when you consume soy, non-fermented soy, you're actually going to decrease your body's ability to consume and digest protein. Now, some of the other problems with it is that it is also loaded with goitrogens, and a goitrogen is a substance which actually impairs your thyroid function. Now, we really have an epidemic of thyroid impairment in our country, so why would we want to consume a food that can cause further harm to thyroid function? Another problem with soy is that it has phytic acid, and phytic acid is a substance, a type of fiber that will actually impair your body's ability to absorb minerals, important minerals that act as catalysts in many enzyme functions. So for some of us who are males and elderly women, that may actually be helpful because we have high levels of iron, and hemochromatosis is also a common problem, and lowering the iron levels can be useful. But for many, that can be a concern. So another one is phytoestrogens, and that many of the studies prove that it is actually not helpful to reduce menopausal symptoms and may cause complications, especially in young children and infants. So what products have soy and are products that you really want to avoid? Well, one of the primary ones and the most important is soy infant formula. There is no reason this product should exist in the marketplace. It should be banned and commercially removed. Infants fed soy formula, this has been shown clearly time and again, have up to 20,000 times the amount of estrogen circulating in their bloodstream than infants that are not fed soy formula. But soy formula is also loaded with dangerous toxins. It has excessive toxic levels of manganese and aluminum, and it's beyond my understanding why this product is even allowed on the market. Now, it is typically given to infants who do not or are unable to tolerate commercial milk formulas. But if that happens to be your case, these should not be on any of those commercial formulas, ideally the best solution, of course, is to use breastfeeding, but for a number of reasons there are many women who are unable to breastfeed their child. So if that happens to be your situation, you can simply go to my website at mercola.com, type in infant formula, and you'll find a number of different practical alternatives to commercial infant formulas. So soy milk is another food that is loaded with the problems that I just reviewed. Soy protein isolate, or textured vegetable protein, is also another food you want to avoid. It is not something made in your kitchen, and is produced in large commercial factories and industrial settings, and they use an acid wash, typically dumped in aluminum containers, so it's loaded with aluminum, and they also add very high levels of MSG, or monosodium glutamate. And Dr. Blaylock has written a very good book called Excitotoxins, and that will explain in great detail how you want to stay away from MSG because it can actually destroy your brain cells. So any product that has textured vegetable protein is loaded with MSG and should be avoided. Now, again, the safe forms of soy are fermented organic soy, and that would be tempeh, miso, and natto. It is not tofu. So hopefully this information has helped clear up some of the confusion that has been created in large part due to the soy industry, which has produced massive amounts of public relations efforts to help increase the consumption of soy, and as a substitute for many of the healthy oils that were used previously. So soy is something that I would recommend that most all of us avoid, and I think you'll be better off for it, and especially in achieving higher levels of health and wellness.